Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Alan Wapner. I'm proud to serve as your Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Ontario. Welcome to the beautiful and historic Gardiner Spring Auditorium and the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band's performance of Rhapsody in Blue, the music of George Gershwin. I'm delighted. Yeah, you have the Alan and Alan show tonight in case you didn't know that, okay? I spell my name right, he spells his name wrong. But I'm Alan Wapner, and this is David Allen, my co-host for this evening. Of course, you all know he's a well-known newspaper columnist. You're well-known? Yeah. Got the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin. Let's hear it for David.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be co-hosting the performance this evening with Alan Wapner, the well-known Mayor Pro Tem. The show band is delighted to feature the music of George Gershwin, one of America's great composers. His body of work is unique, as it has spanned both popular and classical genres. Among his best-known works are the orchestral compositions Rhapsody in Blue, Concerto in F for the piano, and An American in Paris. His well-known songs include the jazz standards Embraceable You, They Can't Take That Away From Me, Our Love Is Here to Stay, and I Got Rhythm. And he wrote Porgy and Bess, which included the hit songs Summertime, It Ain't Necessarily So, and I Got Plenty of Nuttin. You will hear many of those melodies this evening. Also, I Got Plenty of Nuttin is kind of my theme song 3 times a week. The featured artists for tonight's performance are show band assistant director Pat Arnold, guest vocalists Marilyn Sherwood and Brian Detweiler, and solo cellist and guest conductor Matthew Keating. Regrettably, concert pianist Dr. Maria Perez is not able to perform this evening due to health issues. In her place is concert pianist and conductor Dr. Robert Sage.
It's unfortunate to all who loved and appreciated the works of George Gershwin that he only lived 38 years. His unexpected passing created a shockwave of disbelief and sorrow nationwide. In Newsweek, the famous author John O'Hara wrote a tribute to Gershwin that ended with, George Gershwin died on July 11, 1937, but I don't have to believe it if I don't want to. Fortunately, Gershwin left the world a musical treasure of compositions that continue to entertain and inspire music lovers to this day.
And literally to this day, like today. We begin our performance this evening with a song that was written in 1927 in the style of a march. Does that mean it was written in March 1927? It's a musical satire that ridiculed politicians, government corruption, and economic conditions that preceded the early years of the Great Depression. Please join me in welcoming the outstanding musicians of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band under the direction of Dr. Gabe Petricelli as they perform Strike Up the Band.
There's a little history with this Strike Up the Band. I recollected that, it must have been 2 decades ago that Jack Mercer came up. I had the unfortunate position of being at the district center where I was easy access. He came up and asked me to write an arrangement for him. The first arrangement I ever wrote for the show band, I think it was 2002, was Strike Up the Band. So I think it's appropriate tonight that I dedicate it to Stella. No. Coming to the concerts in 1985. She missed a few. And she passed away this year. Tender age. So I'm going to dedicate this performance to Stella. I hope you like it, Stella.
Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce Marilyn Sherwood, our first soloist of the evening. She's performed on numerous concerts with the show band over the span of several decades. Marilyn will be singing a beautiful ballad that was written in 1928 with lyrics by Gershwin's brother, Ira. It was introduced in a 1930 musical, Girl Crazy, that starred Ginger Rogers and Ethel Merman. Billie Holiday's 1944 recording of the song was inducted in the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2005. Please give Marilyn a warm round of applause as she sings Embraceable You. The show band is conducted by Assistant Director Pat Arnold.
Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy.
Marilyn's next song has become a popular Gershwin standard. However, that was not the case when it was first introduced in the 1924 musical Lady Be Good. The song failed to make it opening night. Later, it was planned for a second musical, Strike Up the Band, and it got rejected again. Eventually, the song found its way to London and Paris and became an instant hit. Helen Morgan popularized the song in New York, and, like a gigantic broom, it soon swept the nation. According to Ira Gershwin, when someone in a nightclub or cafe requested a Gershwin song, the first number was usually The Man I Love. Marilyn will now sing this Gershwin favorite.
Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. And when he comes my way, I'll do my best to make him stay. He'll look at me and smile, I'll understand, and in a little while he'll take my hand. And though it seems absurd, I know we both won't say a word. Maybe I will meet him Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe not. Still, I'm sure to meet him one day. Maybe Tuesday will be my good news day. He'll build a little home just meant for two, from which I'll never roam. Who would you? And so all else above, I'm waiting for the man I love. Maybe I will meet him Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe not. Still, I'm sure to meet him one day. Maybe Tuesday will be my good news day. He'll build a little home just meant for two, from which I'll never roam. Who would you? And so all else above, I'm waiting for the man I
Like Marilyn, our next vocalist, Brian Dittweiler, is no stranger to the show band stage. Tonight will mark his third concert with the show band this season. He was a featured vocal soloist at the Memorial Day concert several weeks ago. He will sing one of the hit songs that was included in Gershwin's 1935 folk opera, Porgy and Bess. The lyrics for most of the songs were written by DuBose Hayward. The song expresses a cheerful acceptance of poverty from world cures and that there are more important in life to worry about. Please join me in welcoming Brian as he sings I Got Plenty of Nuttin'. The show band will be led by guest conductor Matthew Keaton.
Oh, I got plenty of nuttin', nuttin's plenty for me. I got no car, I got no mule, I got no misery. The folks with plenty got to lock on their door. Afraid somebody's going to rob them while they're out to making more. What for? I got no lock on the door, that's no way to be. They can steal the rug on the floor, that's okay with me, cause the things that I prize, like the stars in the skies, all are free. Oh, I got plenty of nuttin', nuttin's plenty for me. I got my gal, I got my song, got heaven the whole day long. No use complaining. Got my gal, got my Lord, got my song. Oh, I got plenty of nuttin', nuttin's plenty for me. I got the sun, I got the moon, I got the deep blue sea. The folks with plenty got to pray all the day. It seems with plenty, you sure got to worry how to keep the devil away. Away. I ain't afraid about hell till the time arrives. Never worry long as I'm well. Never one to strive to be good, to be bad. What the hell, I am glad I'm alive. Oh, I got plenty of nuttin', nuttin's plenty for me. I got my gal, I got my song, got heaven the whole day long. Well, no use complaining. About hell till the time arrives. Never worry long as I'm well. Never one to strive to be good, to be bad. What the hell, I am glad I'm alive. Oh, I've got plenty of nuttin', nuttin's plenty for me. I got my gal, I got my song, got heaven the whole day long. Well, no use complaining. Got my gal, got my Lord, got my song.
Brian Detweiler used a microphone, but his outfit was loud enough on its own. As was mentioned earlier, Gershwin wrote a number of classical-type pieces. Included in the collection are 3 short piano pieces that became a suite entitled Three Preludes. The suite was first performed by Gershwin at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City in 1926. Tonight you will hear Prelude number 2. As with the other 2 preludes, it is a vivid example of early American classical music that was infused with jazz elements. This evening, we're extremely fortunate to have Dr. Robert Sage grace our stage. Dr. Sage was, for over 40 years, a teacher of music at the university level. His doctorate in piano performance was taken at the University of Southern California under the tutelage of Lillian Stuber. He is presently Director of Music for the Claremont Symphony Orchestra and the Claremont Youth Symphony Orchestra. Let's have a warm round of applause for Dr. Sage as he performs Gershwin's Prelude number 2.
Well, hello, everyone. Isn't this a fantastic concert thus far? It's a great way for us to cap off our season with a beautiful concert like this. We've actually been pointing towards this particular concert for about 2 years now, and obviously it shows how wonderful it is. So we are delighted that you are here. You're smart people, and you picked these 65 beautiful faces to look at this evening as well. And yet there are many behind the scenes who play such an important part in this as well. They're the support staff of the librarians and equipment crew. And we have Tim Greenwood and the Magnolia Video Productions, the City of Ontario, who's one of our partners. We really appreciate. Thank you, Ellen. I know you did it all by yourself. Well, you didn't. But we also appreciate the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin, Homero Chavez, who is our show band audio technician, Todd Haig, Chaffey Adult School principal, obviously plays an important role in this as well, and Gardiner Spring Auditorium technician Chris King, as well as Chaffey High School assistant principal Kevin Price, who's new on board, and we appreciate his involvement. We thank the generous show sponsors that we have for one of each of our concerts, every concert in the concert menu. Tonight, the generosity of Gary and Miriam Keith for sponsoring tonight's concert. Thank you to Gary and Miriam. We certainly appreciate you. Gary is the newest member of the Friends of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. His lovely wife plays in our band. And Gary is retired. He's a retiring reverend, whatever that means. I don't know if you can retire, but anyway, we're delighted to have him on board. Also, we give you an opportunity to support this show band. There's a hungry tuba out in the foyer, and it would love to make an introduction to you. So if you have some greens, it loves lettuce, but more importantly, it likes dollar bills and 20s and whatever. Anyway, please fill out an information card, or if you would, please give a donation to the Friends of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. Tonight we have some honored guests who are here. We have both Alan and his lovely wife, Judy Wapner, from the City of Ontario. We have Jim Milheiser, the treasurer of the City of Ontario, and also the treasurer of the Friends of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. We have his brother, G. Michael Milheiser, vice president of Monte Vista Water District. We have Sue Ovid, and she's outstanding, I know that. She's my wife, of course, and she's president of the Chaffey Joint Union High School District Board of Trustees. We have Margaret Hamilton and her husband, Bob. Margaret is the vice president of the Chino Basin Water Conservation District. We have Dr. Matthew Holton, the superintendent of the Chaffey Joint Union High School District. Thank you to Matt. We have Dr. Chris Hollister, who is an assistant superintendent, as well as being a Friends of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. I can't even say my own board. Anyway, it's great to have Chris here as well. We have Al Bowling, who is the vice president of the Friends of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. His lovely wife Jennifer is here. Al's retired city manager, as you probably know. And finally, we have Richard Ortiz, who has been one of our great sponsors throughout the years. We appreciate you, Richard, as well. So I'm going to quit talking because you've got a lot of wonderful music. This is a re-energizing evening, if you will. I was tired when I came. When I leave here, I'll have a little pep in my step. So thank you very much for being here.
Thanks. Hey, before Gary goes, though, I always like to take an opportunity to thank Gary and recognize him and his wife, Sue, and the Ovitt family. They have done so much for this community. When you think Ontario, you think Ovitt. Their family has been around for many, many decades. So please join me in thanking Gary and his wife, Sue, for everything they do. You can just put the money in the tuba for me, Gary. That'd be okay. Okay, our next selection was composed in 1937 by the Gershwin brothers for the film Shall We Dance, starring Fred Astaire. In the film, the tune sung by Astaire to Ginger Rogers, the basic meaning of the song is that even if lovers part, the nostalgic moments will always remain with them. Ira Gershwin tells another story about the meaning of the song. After completing the opera Porgy and Bess, his brother was looking to Hollywood for projects. However, Hollywood now considered George a highbrow because he had just written an opera. He responded back, I have written many hit songs in the past, and I expect to do so in the future. Loosely translated, they can't take that away from him. Now we welcome back Brian Detweiler to tell his story of the song he sings, They Can't Take That Away From Me. The show band will once again be conducted by Matthew Keaton.
The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way you smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on that Bombay road to love, but I'll always, always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. Again on that Bombay road to love, but I'll always, always keep the memories of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, 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 they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away. No, they can't take that away from me. From me. Oh yeah.
Now Marilyn Sherwood returns to sing the most popular song from Porgy and Bess. It's basically an aria that was sung several times during the opera. The song soon became a popular and much recorded jazz standard, described by one critic as, without doubt, one of the finest songs the composer ever wrote. Gershwin's highly evocative writing brilliantly mixes elements of jazz and the song styles of black culture in the southeast United States from the early 20th century. Not bad for a Jewish guy. Composer and lyricist Stephen Sondheim characterized DuBose Hayward's lyrics for the song as the best lyrics in the musical theater. This song is so adaptable that many of us know it in the version by Janis Joplin, from jazz to psychedelic rock. Let's give Marilyn a warm 100 degrees in Ontario round of applause as she sings Summertime.
And the living good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and take to the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mommy standing by. Summertime, and the living is easy. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Our next selection was the last musical composition George Gershwin completed before his death on July 11, 1937. Ira Gershwin wrote the lyrics after George's death as a tribute to his brother. Although George had not written a verse for the song, he did have an idea for it that both Ira and pianist Oscar Levant had heard before his death. When a verse was needed, Ira and Levant recalled what George had in mind and secured the help of composer Vernon Duke, who reconstructed the music for the verse at the beginning of the song. Oh, hang on. Thank you. I missed a page there. Ironically, Gershwin never heard the finished product nor knew that the song became an instant hit. It's now my pleasure to welcome to center stage Assistant Director and vocalist Pat Arnold as he sings George Gershwin's final hit song, Our Love Is Here to Stay.
Check, check, check. Okay, thank you. This is unplanned, so Dr. Petrocelli up there giving me a funny look. When I grew up around here, went to Chaffey High School, class of '67, and I grew up on, thank you, there's a lot of us around here. And I grew up on the west side of Ontario. And I had a good friend in high school named Rudy Villa. And he played saxophone, And I play saxophone, so we used to hang out a lot. We used to hang out at his mother's house, who's right over here, Mrs. Villa, that I haven't seen in 56 years. And she's there with her daughter, Diane, and her husband. So I want to dedicate that to them. Thank you. I love you guys. Just dedicated to you. It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancy, and the time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the rocket may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay, but our love is here to stay. Our love is here to stay.
An interesting story is told about one of the hit songs from Porgy and Bess. May I tell it? The lyrics were written, don't say I didn't warn you. The lyrics were written by Ira Gershwin, and according to his recollections, he began writing the lyrics by using a dummy title. In this case, a phrase that accented the second, fifth, and eighth syllables. But his dummy title stuck for the actual song. The result was a song for Sportin' Life, a dubious character in Porgy and Bess. Tonight, we transform that opera's character into a cello solo performed by Matthew Keating. Please join me in giving Matthew a show band round of applause as he performs It Ain't Necessarily So.
You know, I'm a strings guy from orchestra in high school, and I'll tell you, the most beautiful instrument I've ever heard is the cello. Matthew is truly a master at playing the cello. Let's hear it from him again. George Gershwin composed several piano concertos, the Piano Concerto in F and the iconic Rhapsody in Blue. The Rhapsody was composed in 1924 for solo piano and jazz band and combined elements of classical music with jazz-influenced effects. The work was commissioned by band leader Paul Whitman and premiered in a concert entitled An Experiment in Modern Music on February 12, 1924 in Alien Hall in New York City. Whitman's band performed the Rhapsody with Gershwin playing the piano. Whitman's arranger, Ferde Groffet, orchestrated the Rhapsody several times, including the 1924 original scoring, the 1926 pit orchestra scoring, and the 1942 symphonic version. Gershwin later claimed that while journeying to Boston on the train, the thematic seeds for Rhapsody in Blue began to germinate in his mind. In 1931, Gershwin told his biographer, Isaac Goldberg, it was on the train with its steely rhythms, its rattly bang that is so often so stimulating to a composer. I frequently hear music in the very heart of the noise, and there I suddenly heard and even saw on paper the complete construction of the Rhapsody, from beginning to end. No new things came to me, but I worked on the thematic material already in my mind and tried to conceive the composition as a whole. I heard it as a sort of musical kaleidoscope of America, of our vast melting pot, of our unduplicated national pep, of our metropolitan madness. By the time I reached Boston, I had a definite plot of the piece as distinguished from its actual substance.
How'd you like that? I have so much to be thankful for. This community band here, they only had one rehearsal. I mean, just this one real rehearsal to prepare for an epic piece. So my heartfelt thanks to the greatest show band in all the land, the musicians of the Ontario Chaffey Community Show Band. There they are. Many, many thanks to President Gary Ovid and all the esteemed board members of the Friends of the Show Band for their unwavering support. We can't put these shows on without their commitment to this organization and their support. Sue, wherever you are, thank you for decorating the table. You brought us up into first class. We were down in steerage for a while, and now we're back up to first class. Our distinguished narrators, Alan Wapner and David Allen. Great job, gentlemen. Assistant Director Patrick Arnold for doing a wonderful job as both a conductor and a vocal soloist. Thank you, Patrick. And now our outstanding guest soloist, vocalist Marilyn Sherwood. Come on out, Marilyn, take a bow. Come on, Marilyn. Mr. Brian Detweiler. Our guest conductor and cello soloist, the fantastic Matthew Keating. And we are forever grateful for making himself available at the very last moment to perform and take a big risk by performing in our concert this evening. Dr. Robert Sage, come on out and take a bow. There are only a few people that can do Rhapsody in Blue, and Dr. Sage is one. And finally, to you, our loyal and dedicated, wonderful audience, I appreciate you for being here tonight, and I hope you have an opportunity to see us on July 4th after the parade, the Ontario Parade. Okay.
Hey, come here. You know, I'd like to take any opportunity I can to thank and recognize those individuals that helped shape the past, the present, and the future of this great city of Ontario that my family are very proud to call our home. Gabe Petroselli is one of those. Gabe has dedicated and committed his entire life for public service, both as an educator as well as the composer and conductor of this great show band. So for that, we all want to thank you, Gabe. Thank you. All right. On behalf of Dr. Petroselli and the show band family, Gary and Miriam Keith, the Chaffey Adult School, and I guess I'll have to mention it, my co-host, David Allen. Make sure you put me in your column. See some nice stuff about me, huh? Yeah, it'll never happen. I want to thank all of you for spending your evening with us. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's performance and look forward to seeing all of you once again at the Ontario Town Square Bandshell on the 4th of July, immediately following the parade. It'll be your opportunity to hear the show band's final performance of the concert season.
We conclude this evening's concert with a special arrangement featuring Dr. Robert Sage. This 1930 Gershwin song was originally intended as part of a score for a Ziegfeld operetta. The operetta never materialized, and neither did the song's title, which was Lady of the Moon. Later, the title was changed to I Got Rhythm, and went on to become a Gershwin standard, despite a title that offended English teachers everywhere. I imagine they told Gershwin, it should be I have rhythm. Surely you know proper English. To which Gershwin might have replied, it ain't necessarily so. And don't call me Shirley. Please sit back and enjoy Dr. Sage and the outstanding musicians of the show band as they perform this classic song, I Got Rhythm.